Hello once again. Let me just get this camera in focus if I can. There we go. Once again we are live and it is the 17th of May 2021. I'm your host Drew, also known as SilentMode, and this is the third sort of things live stream. I had so much fun doing this, even though not many of you joined in the last few times, so I'm going to do it again. It's also a good incentive for me to finish sorting through these things. So without further ado, let's continue. I've emptied the plates once again. I've emptied the minifigures. I've put the clone parts in a separate box, ready to go to the charity shop. I've decided I'm going to try and assemble the Doctor Who sets and possibly try to resell them. So here's another batch of parts and I am going to begin. This one's a little bit easy because it's a large chunk of clone brand parts. You can see it says Kobe rather than Lego, and I'm going to assume that all of these parts attached to this are clone parts. They look like clone parts anyway. So they will all go in here. This is definitely a clone part. So see if I can make this autofocus behave. It likes to do this from time to time. Never mind. It'll catch up eventually. Alright, so anybody who's watching right now, always appreciate you taking part, always appreciate you joining me. Let me know you are here just by typing something in the chat. If nobody's here, then that's perfectly alright. I will have plenty of fun just doing this live stream. Now, these are definitely clone parts. I have a feeling there's going to be quite a few clone parts in this batch, but it's all good. Yes, just as a reminder, I still have this bad boy here, still out of focus. You will see plenty. There we go. You'll see this in a future video or something like this. And this is going to be my charity pots. Over here I've got some old pound coins. And the idea is that anytime you guys catch me saying anything about the lack of subscribers, lack of views, or indeed talking about those evil people supposedly who want to pretend I don't exist, I'm going to put £1 in that pot over there. And at the end of the year, anything that's in that pot is going to go to charity. Hello once again, Kerry J, and it is perfectly fine if you have other things to do. I'm just glad you've joined me once again. I really appreciate it. I just happened to come across this motorbike, which is from the Avengers set. You can tell by the logo here. I am going to put this in this section over here, which is for minifigure utensils. And I will keep going. So genuine Lego parts that aren't being sorted will go in this container here. We've got clone parts in this cup. I've got a few categories over here, and we have special cups for nano blocks, and parts I am considering selling individually. Here we got some, I don't know if these are Bionicle or Hero Factory or whatever kind of parts they are. I've got virtually no use for these, but I know that there is a significant fan base for them. So they may be worth selling on their own. But for those who don't know, the idea behind this particular live stream is that I thought it was a good idea, and clearly other people did as well, to have these kind of live streams, because it's an activity that many of us take part in, and I find it very therapeutic to sort through parts sometimes. So why not make the most of modern technology and sort through some parts, as well as hosting a live stream and hopefully getting talking to people as well. That's my thought anyway, but this wasn't my idea. It was an idea that was conjured up on Adorabuild, the Adorabuild Discord, and I thought it would be a good idea to at least give a try. Look at this. This is a part that when I was new to the Lego hobby I wanted rather badly, but I've never really made use of it. This is a flight of stairs, and this came with, I believe, the early Harry Potter sets. So the idea is that you can take these bits and fold them out as such, and then you get a nice smooth flight of stairs. These are definitely worth selling on their own, I think. So I'll put that in this cup here. And we'll keep going. Hopefully you guys have had a very good day today. So after the last live stream, I went out to this, it's a different charity shop to where I got these Lego parts. I went to the British Heart Foundation, just down the road from where I live, and I got myself a nice sturdy office chair. So for comparison, I bought the office chair from eBay for about £40, expecting it to be a lot larger and sturdier than it turned out to be. It turned out to be much smaller than I was expecting, and it felt really cheap, which was a shame. The one I got from the charity shop down the road though is very sturdy. It's not too heavy, although I did have to get public transport to take it home, and I'm not using it at the moment. I'm savoring. I'm waiting for the right opportunity to use it, but it definitely feels more secure, and it was half the price essentially. I guess for me it was a reminder that sometimes it's a lot better to actually go into a store to buy something instead of relying on stuff that's online. Also bearing in mind that you can't really examine the products you find online, and there's a lot of cheap products out and about. Not saying that I mean, there's a connotation that there's the connotation that products from China are cheap and badly engineered, and I'm not going to leave any comments about that. But all I will say is that sometimes it is worth paying a little bit more for a quality product. As I like to say, the cheapest product isn't necessarily the least expensive. There's another Doctor Who roof. I'm wondering how many TARDISes I'll be able to make from all these parts. But yes, hopefully you guys have had a very good day today, that you've made the most of whatever was available. I'd say so far I'm having a very good week. Things are starting to fall into place. And this year is shaping up to be rather good. I always feel like I'm not as productive as I could be, but things are pretty good at the moment. So along with the new office chair, I've ordered some new materials from what's it called, Bentley Advanced Materials. So basically more silicone rubber, more polyurethane resin, etc., because I have a few molds that I'm looking to make, and of course you'll see what I'm going to be making in future videos. This is quite nice. It's a crane piece. You can use it to lift things up. I will say that I'll say that the silicone and resin is very expensive. It's well, depending on what kind of Lego you collect, I'd say it's just as, if not more expensive. And I think, especially since I've gone the independent route, it's more important now that I actually look to turn the purchases of these materials into a profit. I'm certainly hoping I can do that this year, because there's a couple of things I'm making which I would be looking to sell, and hopefully that will be the case, especially if I can get to, if there are some events running and I can get to those events, that would be great. So I'm disassembling this for the individual parts. We've got these what I call cheese slopes, which I like to collect. So the AFOL term is cheese slopes, but though they are 1 by 1 by 2/3 slopes. And then you've got the single and the double ones. Just dropped a bit there. There you go. Right, so no idea how long this is going to take, but it will take as long as it does. Not sure if anybody recognizes this piece. I think it's a non-Lego part, so that goes in this cup. Yes, the funny thing was, as soon as the last live stream ended, even though there weren't many people watching, I had the temptation of doing another one, mainly because again, I find this sorting process very therapeutic. Oh, okay, this is another alligator, but it's missing its top part. Maybe we'll find the top part elsewhere in this this pile, and if we do, that's another part that we can consider selling. It'd also be interesting to see how many complete minifigures we have. Alright, this is a large base plate with that looks like a separate piece there, but this is a Kobe base plate. Again, we can tell from the markings here. This is too big to fit in the cup, so I'm going to put it in my box of clone parts, just over here. And I think this is another one. Just checking. Just want to check that these parts aren't Lego. Yeah, this looks like it's clone parts as well. And I'd like to check these tiles. Oh, yeah, that's Kobe. Using my fingers in lieu of a brick separator. This is going old school. Yep, that's definitely a clone brand. And this, I think it's this one, I haven't checked. Yeah, these are all clone brands. Alright. How about this one here? This looks like it's all clone brands. So yeah, quite a significant number of clone brand pieces. But it's all good. Alright, this part was a large version of the brick that came from an Avengers set. It's got the LEGO logo as a sticker. It's basically a large version of a LEGO brick. So I'll separate the parts and put them in here. Now I should probably put on some music. I don't know what music to put on though. Copyright free music, of course. Let's see. I'm just going to take a moment here to put on some music. I think I'll go with some good old Lakey inspired. Just waiting for the thing to start up. Okay. Let's see what we have. You know, I really should have a folder full of copyright free music. Oh no, that's not what I was looking to play. Let's try this. Okay. Alright. That should lighten the mood a little bit. Yeah, personally, I don't mind doing my sorting in complete silence, but since this is a live stream and somebody may be watching, I just thought it would be good to have some music. Oh, this is a black missile. It's quite nice to have. I actually collect these because I have a few of the missile launchers as well. They're very nice to have with. They're nice to use for making vehicles that shoot things, basically. Okay, we may have some mixed up parts here. Those are Lego. This is Lego. Oops, these definitely are not. Looks like this. Looks like that part is stuck. There we go. Alright. Here we have another Doctor Who torso, just missing the heads and the hands. Also curious to see how many of those figures I have in this as well. Ah, this is... I didn't expect to see this here. This is a one of those tiles from LEGO Dimensions. I have no idea which one this is or what it's for. But I do have the reader, and that's hopefully going to be a project for the future. So it may be worth holding on to that to see what it is. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. This is cool. Now I don't know if this is genuine Lego or not. Let's have a look. I don't think it is. No, I don't think it is. Nope. But wouldn't that be cool? Now, one way I can tell it isn't genuine is because LEGO, as far as I know, has not put out a completely translucent minifigure. But this shows that it can be done. Yet another Doctor Who piece. That's LEGO. Just getting some of these smaller bits. This is a nice piece, not this one. That's LEGO. This is an interesting piece. It is a silver chicken. I don't think I have one of these, but definitely worth keeping. Yes, so far I would say that this this batch of LEGO was a steal. So I paid £35 for an estimated 11 kilos of LEGO. And to think I was extremely lucky because somebody passed over it saying that there was too much that wasn't LEGO. But even then I'm just looking through it to see what parts I can salvage and what parts I can pass on to others. That's the way I look at LEGO these days, as a way to obtain parts that I'm after without having to buy expensive sets and then pass the rest on to other people. Now this is a clone part as well, although it looks like a genuine LEGO surfboard, and we can tell because there's no LEGO markings on here. It's a nice piece though. This is a genuine pair of LEGO legs. Yes, and you may recognize this music from some of my videos. All of these are by Lakey inspired. that is... That's a shame. This is a clone brand. This is a genuine, this gold bone here. That's a genuine Lego parts. I'll put that in there. This is also genuine Lego. This is from Harry Potter. This part right here, that's a Harry Potter piece. This, I have no idea what this is, but it looks like a Doctor Who figure. Clone parts. Oh, somebody left a battery in here. But it's a rechargeable battery. Nice. Should still be good. Lots of dust as well. So I'd have to guess that this collection was left in the attic somewhere. Oh gosh, I just had a thought actually. Naturally, I had a Lego collection when I was a kid, and after getting out of my dark age, I wondered where it had gone. And basically, long story short, I found out that it had been given away, and I ended up getting about half of it back. I'm not sure where the other half is gone. This is probably my favourite Lakey inspired song. It's called That Girl. Okay. That's an odd part. This thing here, this is a clone part, but it's rather odd. Right. I've been skirting around this bit. I'm going to disassemble it. This is all genuine Lego. Hello, Bob. Glad you could join me again. Really appreciate it. Oops. There we go. Alright, so you guys will have noticed that I've changed the lighting slightly. So I think it's an improvement over the last part. You guys can see most of the action. So I'm just dismantling this build here, just for the separate parts. Look how quickly I was able to do that. Disassembling things is always going to be faster than assembling them. That's just one of the facts of life. So yes, just to recap, this is basically the third batch of a bunch of parts I bought from a charity shop. So it's around 11 kilos of Lego in total, and got a very good price for it. Almost missed out on it because basically I saw it in the window when the charity shop was closed, and I decided the next day I was going to go for it. But when I got to the charity shop, there was already somebody looking at it. And fortunately for me, they decided there wasn't enough genuine Lego in there. Fortunately, this was an untrained person in the art of second-hand Lego. So I decided to pick it up. Obviously, there were some clone parts in there, but I recognized that there were some potentially valuable bits. And so I ended up getting a very good bargain. Also considering that it's not been very good for selling Lego, as I found out the hard way. I tried getting rid of quite a bit of it on eBay a while ago, and I wasn't successful at all. So I guess at the moment it's more of a buyer's market for Lego. Then we also have to consider that the Lego stores are open again. Look at this, this is a nice clone part, but this is a pepper shaker. Let me just move these to the center so you can see them all. Alright, so this is how much we got left to go through, and I'm moving a little bit quicker because I know everybody's time is valuable. So's mine, by the way. This is what I chose to do today. Yeah. Got nice big parts here. So yes, I think eBay is always a seller's market, to be honest. I've tried looking for various things on eBay, and the auctions are a nightmare. There's still the problem of people sniping, and a lot of the stuff there is overpriced, as in they have rather large or rather high buy it now prices, and the auction thing has just gotten so frustrating now. Look at that, some of somebody placed a Lego head on a Doctor Who torso, you might recognize their head, which I think is an improvement over what this is meant to look like. Anyhow, that goes over there. There's a clone parts. I'm actually looking for a new camera, specifically the Canon M50, and this is to replace a Sony Alpha 5000, which for the third time has had its kit lens break. I've boycotted Sony, so I'm looking for a Canon specifically. I've had a better experience with Canon cameras, and I've not been able to find a decent bargain anywhere. Excuse me. But I think in general, to be absolutely honest, there aren't very many bargains to be had. Not right now anyway, because of everything that's gone on. So let me just take a drink very quickly. You guys probably remember this part. This is a magnet piece. Doesn't feel like there's a magnet in here, but I remember this from the time when Lego thought it was a good idea to sell Star Wars figures with them, as it was a technicality because of Star Wars licensing, that they couldn't sell the minifigures on their own. So they included them with the magnets, but they glued the figures to the magnets, if I remember correctly. Now that Disney owns the license, it's probably not as big an issue. Yeah. Those are clone parts. I'll have to empty that cup. Gosh, you managed to get a free camera lens. That's awesome. Now, I wish I could get a free camera lens. Especially for one of my working cameras. That would be great. I don't think that's going to happen though. Right, so while I'm on this live stream, just wanted to let you guys know, in the last, the live stream before last, I mentioned the big rebuild, and you guys chose the music studio as the model to build. That's going to be a project for later in the year. There's a few things I've got to get out the way first, but I'm going to make a series of videos talking about the build process, some of the history behind the original model, etc, etc. So you guys are going to see the revamp of the old model in more detailed steps. Okay. So did you have to go to Reading to pick up the camera lens? And if you did, how did you get there? Was it by public transport, or did you drive, catch a bus, anything like that? Okay, this is a Doctor Who figure. Do you guys know which one this is? I have absolutely no idea, but that's what it has at the bottom. And this is the character. Okay, he came over, so he had to travel. That's fine. So any fans of Doctor Who, do you know who this character is? Beats me. I don't like Doctor Who. Well, I can't say I don't like it. I never actually got into it. But even though it's gained in popularity over the last few years, I've refused to watch it. I've seen bits of it when I was younger, and it just didn't gel. Okay, so this is what we call a double cheese slope. So it's twice as wide as the parts that came before. Also collect those. So that's a space cop, a space police person. Okay, I'll have to take your word for it, because I don't know. Okay, let's look at this. That's a nice fleshy head. It's double-sided. That's the second side. I'll definitely keep that one, I think. So yes, indeed, it's going to be a busy year for me, and it's most important that I actually get stuff done this year, so I have stuff to show. Alright, Bob, I'm going to ask you, since you watched Doctor Who. I know it's a long time ago, but what did you make of the first female Doctor Who? Was it big news for you, or did you feel as I did that it doesn't really matter, or it's completely irrelevant? Because I remember there was a huge fuss made about it, and it was around the time where I guess it was trendy. It was trendy to replace lead characters with females or people of other demographics. Personally, I think that kind of stuff is unnecessary for the most part. So you don't like Doctor Who as much anymore? That's a shame. Speaking of which, look at this. That's a rather unusual title. I'm guessing it's I don't have any of the figures. I'm guessing it's one of those minifigure plates like this one for LEGO minifigures. Okay, so you didn't like how the character was introduced. Fair enough. You like the other Doctors? Yeah, sadly I can't talk Doctor Who because I never watched any of them in their entirety. I just remember being rather freaked out when I was younger, watching bits of the episodes. Let's go also. Right. Oh, almost got caught out by that bit. The older Doctors. Excuse me. So who was your favourites of the Doctors? Just out of curiosity. There's another Doctor Who part. I'm not sure if it's worth anything, but... Hello there, Terry. Thanks for joining me. My experience of the new process of filling pick-a-brick cups. How can I put it? Let me stop the music for a second just to make my thoughts known. Okay, so for those who don't know, the LEGO stores have reopened and you can buy pick-a-brick cups, except in the name of hygiene or whatever, the staff members fill the cups for you. Now, I found that you have to be rather friendly with the staff in order to get your money's worth with the pick-a-brick cups, because obviously they can't spend as much time filling the cups as people would do individually. But I do find that it's rather easy to get ripped off, especially when it comes to buying the larger pieces. Not saying that they're doing it deliberately, but they certainly won't do as good a job with filling the cups as you would by yourself. And I think they're more focused on getting things done as quickly as possible. Thinking about the last couple of times I went to get some pick-a-brick, it was kind of frustrating. I wanted to stuff the thing full of the smaller parts, and you know, especially when I wanted more of certain parts, it was kind of frustrating trying to tell the staff member how much of them I wanted. So I just took the path of least resistance, let's just say. I'm hoping that we can get back to filling the cups ourselves, but as after speaking to one of the staff members, they mentioned that it probably won't happen because if you remember, the LEGO stores had areas where you could actually play with bricks. That might not be possible anymore because of all the restrictions and the hygiene practices and things. So it's going to be interesting to see how things pan out. But I guess there's always the online service where you can specify how much of something you want. And the one saving grace I would say is that the prices haven't changed. There was a massive opportunity for a stealth price increase that LEGO likes to do, but the price of pick-a-brick hasn't changed, thankfully, so it's all good. Thanks for the question though, Tom, and I'm glad you found that my my updates on the Pab Crawler channel have been useful. That's why I do them. Alright, so Tom Baker was Bob's favourite Doctor Who. Okay, that one sounds very recent. Tom Baker sounds very recent. I'm not entirely sure. So with filling the pick-a-brick cups or having the staff fill them, I would definitely recommend going for the smaller parts first, and I think the staff would recommend filling the cups with the smaller parts, because again I think they're more focused on filling the cups as quickly as possible, as opposed to making sure that you make the most of all the space. You may have heard of two very lucrative parts in some of the pick-a-brick walls. You got sand blue tiles, 1x1s, 1x1 sand blue tiles, and you got dark stone grey or dark bluish grey quarter circle tiles, 1x1s. I would definitely recommend going for those first, especially since the quarter circle tiles have been sold out in wherever they had them. And definitely take the opportunity to get as many of them as you can. So I've managed to get the sand blue 1x1 tiles. I haven't gotten the quarter circle tiles yet. But yes, in general, when filling the cups, go for the smaller parts first. If you're after the larger parts, I would go for those as, in quotes, extra scoops. So if you're lucky and the staff person doesn't hate you, they'll give you an extra scoop, I guess, to make up for the lack of optimizing the space. Look at this. This is very sneaky. Dropped it. This looks like a genuine double cheese slope, but it's got this clone brand logo on it. It's printed. And I almost mistook this as well as this plate for being genuine Lego, but you can see there's no Lego on the studs. The shop has targets. I guess the Lego store would have targets in as much as how much Lego they would be looking to sell. I guess that would make sense. And I'd imagine based on the queues, both at the Westfield, Shepherd's Bush and the Stratford stores, that they've sold an awful lot of Lego this week. Or not, sorry, not this week, last week. Good for them though. This is quite nice. Not sure if anyone recognizes this torso, and yeah, just this torso. There's no printing on the legs. I'm guessing it's one of the comic book heroes. Did I ever do Wilco's Pick a Brick? I haven't. You could call me a purist. I don't think I am really, but I generally don't touch Wilco's version of Lego, although I did buy some of the base plates before, and that was mainly because I wanted to cut them up, and it would be too expensive to do what I wanted to with Lego base plates. So I personally think that Wilco's base plates are pretty good quality. I think they're very good if you wanted to cut them up, if you wanted to make a custom display with them. But I've never actually used and never thought of using Wilco's bricks. I can see how they are a viable option for people who can't afford Lego though. So we're almost at the end of this. I'm not sure if you guys will be willing to go through another lot, another batch of Lego. Let me know in the comments section. I don't mind ending things after this if you like. I will say in general, I'm not 100% purist, because I don't mind the idea of using third-party parts as long as they're of decent quality. But I understand that in terms of featuring or having my creations featured, it may cause a problem if I've ended up using a third-party piece. And again, it's strange how things like Brick Arms, Brick Forge, etc. are considered acceptable, but what's called clone brands such as Mega Bloks, Kobe, etc. aren't. Let's see, where we were just under an hour. You know what? I think I'm going to get another batch of Lego parts, because I'm enjoying doing this. Look at this. This is genuine Lego. We got this this thing here. I can't for the life of me remember which character this is for, but that goes in there anyway. Right, so we're almost done here. Oh wow. Okay, so there's no more Wilco pick-a-brick. I think that's a shame, but if they weren't selling, then I guess that's the only logical thing to do. But if they're good quality, then that's a really good price for them. That's a really good price for them. So yes, hang on, I'm gonna get another batch of Lego, so just bear with me a second. I'm right here. Ooh. Gonna need another box. Let's see. Alright, I'll be with you guys in just a second. Okay, so just to give you guys an idea, this is the box. This is the box of Lego. It came actually in 2 boxes. You can see this is just a small section of what's left, and that's just in the bag. And then there's a few more smaller parts inside there. So I'm going to take a few parts from both sections. Where'd I put that? There it is. But yes, as Bob said, generally Lego doesn't like war themes, although they have gone against their own rules a couple of times. Thinking about Indiana Jones, for example. And somebody's going to have to explain the introduction of olive green. That came with the Dino theme that was launched, or the one-off Dino theme a few years ago. It's interesting you say that, Terry, because I have found, and I don't know if you guys agree, that for one, the colours of Lego parts tend to differ quite a bit, and especially the white parts, they tend to fade really quickly. And also with the newer parts, they don't grip as well after a while. Initially they're very good, but then they lose their grip after a while. Okay, one more handful of these. Alright, here we go. Okay, well, I'm having fun with the sorting. Hopefully you guys are having some fun as well. But I have spotted some rather unusual bits, not including this one. It's a cactus piece, it looks like. Yes, olive green. Olive green for me is a war-based colour. I'd associate that with war and tanks and things. So I thought it was interesting that Lego introduced that colour, even if it was a limited run. But yes, I found that white Lego's white bricks, they tend to discolor very easily. I'm not sure if it's because of the new formulation or anything like that. You got 1,000 of them. How did you manage that? And more importantly, what do you do with them? Right, let me put the music back on. There we go. Let's try and get the focus in as well. No? Okay, cool. This is also Kobe. You have another motorbike. Yes, what's it called? Retro Bright. There's another motorbike here, and that is Lego. That's cool. Couldn't help but notice this minifigure. I think this is Vision from the Avengers. Not sure how much this one is worth. I am on the fence about keeping this one because it looks like it's in pretty good condition. Okay, so they had 2x4 bricks in olive green. I'm guessing on the pick a brick wall. I personally have had no use for them. It's not one of my preferred colours. Okay, that's pretty menacing. Old school fidget spinner. And these are Kobe bricks on top of Lego plates. So let's see. So use them as a substitute, I guess. So generally I use red bricks as a filler color, so where they can't be seen, and it makes things a little bit awkward where I actually have to use red. And I think I mentioned before that there was one time where I actually sold a lot of red parts to someone and then spent almost a fortune trying to get some red parts for future builds. But yes, going back to Terry's point, I had used Retro Bright before. I remember going to Superdrug, I think it was, to get some hydrogen peroxide, and it worked rather well actually. I don't remember what I used it on. I think it was Lego, but yeah, it did work. I think this is Playmobil. This piece here. And then we got the beards to go with this figure here. You just have to find the head, whichever head it has. Cool. So you made use of Lego for a non-Lego purpose. That's awesome. Got quite a few of these plates, Doctor Who plates. So I'm going to take this apart now. Again, I like these. Very good for making roofs or collapsible parts of buildings. This is genuine Lego. I think it was for Wonder Woman's invisible plane or something like that. Now, speaking of which, you know, Bob talking about how he used Lego for his tapes. Ever since I got my 3D printer, I have to admit, I've tried to find ways of using it for just about everything, to the point where I've almost forgotten that Lego is a solution as well. And I think that's certainly one of the dangers of certainly new technologies, but many other things as well. Once we get into these things, it's very difficult to see anything else as a potential solution. The same way that before Lego, before computers, etc., I would make things out of cardboard, PVA glue, etc. And sometimes that is the best method. But we're so used to these new things that I guess we try to find excuses for using them. Enough preaching. Goes there. We've got a lot of plates, a lot of tiles, a lot of clone parts. Yes, just as a reminder, and please let me know if I do, if you hear me going off about various things I shouldn't be talking about, let me know and I'll put a £1 coin in this, with the money at the end of the year going to charity. Because I want to be held accountable for the things that I do. Just trying to determine whether this is genuine or not. It doesn't look like it, although it's very convincing. This. What do you guys think? That's what it looks like inside. Can't really see. I'm gonna go. Oh, you see, I don't know. This bit is genuine. I can't see too well. I think not, to be honest. Although I don't know. Okay, I can tell these aren't genuine because of the colours. These bits definitely aren't genuine. Okay, with this, I can say I've got enough of these to where it doesn't matter if it's not genuine or not, or genuine or not. Okay, so I think it's safe to say, Terry, that with all those Walco blocks you've bought, you've got a use for them. But what are you planning on doing with them? That's my question. Yeah, this interesting part is another clone part. Looks like I don't know, rock climbing, a rock climbing piece. Okay, I'm gonna have to empty this section. So this is where all the plates have sorted have gone. I'm just going to put them in here. Just thinking about the last thing I built using nothing but Lego parts. I built a I built a calendar. So you know the Lego set that came out a while ago with the 4 squares or the 4 cubes. I built my own version of those using black, grey and white tiles. I think that was the very last thing I did. I don't remember doing anything else actually. I also attempted my own version of an advent calendar with the doors and things, but I never really completed it. There's 2 parts to building an advent calendar, I guess. There's the actual calendar parts, and then there's what to put inside it. Okay, let's continue. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I've also thought, another good idea I've had, I've thought of doing a 3D printing live stream. And in that case, it's just a matter of deciding what I'm going to print. But at some point I will do that because they're quite good fun as well. Dr. Jake. Dr. Jake, that name sounds familiar. I don't know if I've ever seen any of his videos, but maybe it's a good idea to watch his videos because I'm guessing he's more popular than me, and it's not a bad idea to pick up tips from people who are more popular. Maintaining my own identity, of course. I'll just take these off. Interesting use of a Lego part. Okay, so you've used blocks for making a train tunnel. That's awesome. You know, I completely forgot about using Lego for making train sets. For some strange reason, it's probably a good thing that I never got into trains. Not really, because that's an expensive that's a very expensive section of Lego, and then you've got to have the space as well to have the train layouts. I did get a train set once though, and I did play around with it because I had my nephew over once, and he enjoyed playing with them. But train sets are a very slippery slope, especially when it comes to Lego. Maybe something worth experimenting with though. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if Lego ever came out with a micro train set, I'd be all over it. So maybe something half the scale of your regular Lego train sets. But who knows, maybe that's something I'll look into. I'm not really good with electronics, but yeah. Well, Bob, if you think about it, the most popular videos on YouTube featuring train sets are the ones that have these humongous, absolutely humongous layouts. Talking about going inside the house and out of the house. I remember there was one going into the swimming pool or something like that. Those are the ones that will get the most notoriety. And then on top of that, if you go to LEGO events when they start again, the train layouts that get the most attention will always be the biggest ones. Fair enough. That's just how it goes. It's another part of the giant minifigure that came with the Avengers set. Yeah. If I had more space, because that's one of the main reasons I do small models mainly, but if I had more space, then I would certainly look at making my own town. And I think it would be one of the better layouts as well. Yes, let's be honest though, Bob, if you had that much space and if you had the means, you'd probably make a layout like that yourself, and you'd probably show off like that yourself, and there's no shame in it. Heck, I probably would if I'd thought of that. But it would be nice to have my own town layout, because I guess it's similar to what I'm doing with my 365 room challenge. It's something that I can continuously build upon and change a few things as time goes on, etc. A very extreme example would be what goes on at the Lego house. They have a massive layout, or several layouts actually, and they update it seasonally. I think that for me would be a bit much, but if I had something on a much smaller scale that I could update regularly, that would be great. Maybe I could do that actually. There's an idea for a future video. Yeah. So Bob, perhaps you could, just as an idea, perhaps you could incorporate both worlds, the tape decks, the video equipment, and a Lego town somehow. I'm not sure how I would go about it, but there's an idea for you. And there's another motorbike. Okay. So Terry, do you have anywhere that people can look at your models? I don't mind putting the word out if you like. There's definitely one thing I gotta do. I gotta showcase my mods, or mocks even. There's another Ninjago spinner. I don't know if people actually collect these, but I'll probably put it up for sale. That's good, Bob. See, it's one thing I definitely have to do this year is actually showcase my mocks, because yes, I've made some headway with my own website, but there's nowhere that anyone can go to really see the things I've built. And the first place anybody should go to see things I've built is my website. I guess I've just been too nervous to actually do anything, but that's not good. I think one valuable thing, if you know, since space has been an issue, is making sure that I keep the instructions for building these things. So I design almost everything on computer, and I use primarily Lego Digital Designer, and I guess now Stud.io to design things. And then I guess having the files is enough, but I like to make sure I have instructions as well. So if in the future I decide I want to have that model again, I can more easily build it, and it's likely that I'll have the parts to build it as well. This looks like the back of one of the Lego Batman movie sets. Again, I got the instructions for one of them as part of this lot. It's a rather clever technique there. See this bit here? So that bit there, that's a rather clever technique. So you've got this curved bit here, which is a vehicle part that sits over this piece here, which sits over a tile. So that's some advanced stuff. I would never have thought of that. Yeah, that's also why I don't work with or for Lego. Boy, I'll tell you, Bob, when I was in high school, which was the peak of my childhood interest in Lego, pretty much all of my pocket money would go toward Lego sets. This is back in the days of Toys R Us, when sets didn't cost nearly as much in relative terms. I would spend almost all my money on sets, especially the ones that had lots of minifigures. And I also remember a couple of times ordering parts through the mail order catalogue. Those were the days. But even back then, you know, the cost of parts was prohibitive. Okay. Well, is there anywhere that people can see the photos of what you've built? Because I'd be interested in seeing some of these things. Yeah, back in the day it was all about the minifigures, and it still is. Do you remember the City minifigures pack? I think it had a what looked like a waiter. It had a gosh, it had a guy in a green jacket. I remember getting a few copies of that one, and this was back in the day when female minifigures were at a premium, that you'd only really find them in expensive sets or the highest price sets. Speaking of minifigures, I've managed to complete my collection of Series 20, which I didn't have. I also have Series 21, and I've got the new Looney Tunes figures, which I'm not really impressed with, but you know, I guess since there's a new Space Jam movie, it was necessary. My thoughts is that, along with the stealth price increases that LEGO's been employing for the last few iterations, I think they're going to make it to where there's only 12 figures in a complete set. I think that's going to become more commonplace now. And I think they've introduced that change to mitigate a stealth price increase. What do you guys think? And as far as the collectible minifigures go, and I've said this a few times, I'm not really a fan of the newer ones as much as the older ones, because personally I preferred it when the figures themselves were much simpler, and when they didn't come with unique parts. I mean, there were some such as the Graduate, which were pretty cool, with the unique Graduate hats, but just about every minifigure these days comes with the unique parts, and I'm not really a fan of it. And in particular, I don't like basically there's quite a few new minifigures that have their tongues sticking out, which I really don't like. But obviously somebody at LEGO likes them. Look at this. This is a Batgirl, I think, hairpiece or headpiece. That's pretty cool. So yeah, the minifigures that have their tongues sticking out, that's a personal pet hate. Well, that's a pet hate of mine, and it's a pretty good reason as to why I'm looking to make my own versions of minifigure heads. But I get that some people like them. Alright, so once again we are almost done, and I think this is going to be it for the night. So will there be any more of these videos in the future? I think so. I will try and space them out though. Okay. Wait a minute, Bob. Are you saying you take the double-sided heads and you remove one of the the double-sided heads and you remove one of the faces? Why would you do that? I don't think I would ever go that far. Yeah, I don't dislike any of the faces that much. I think in general, apart from keeping one copy of the figures for my collection, I would just replace the head for something that was more suitable. Well, I can understand that. Yeah, I guess because I'm a little bit creative with minifigures in general, If I don't like something, I'll just replace it with something else. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I've had difficulty trying to find a particular minifigure part, and I guess it turns out that I'm going to have to create my own, and you'll probably see the results of that in a future video, so look out for that one. Okay, that's obviously that's not a Lego minifigure, and this isn't a Lego minifigure head. You see, no idea what character this is. Whoops. Yeah, no idea what character this is right here. But as you can see with the stud, there's nothing in it. So, a baby with two faces. That doesn't sound appealing at all. Okay, you know what? I'll just go ahead and say it because somebody's probably going to do it anyway. I had thought for a very long time about perhaps creating a Lego minifigure torso that accommodates two heads for you know, resembling a conjoined twin or something. I thought that would be interesting, but somebody's probably already done it. I haven't looked too hard, but I'm guessing someone's already done something like that. Mr. Bookie Boos, I've not heard of them. I will certainly have a look. I'll have a look at their channel once I'm done here. Check out this shield here. I'm not sure where that's from, but that's quite nice. So, never fear, we are almost done. But there's a thought though, what kind of city would I like to build? If I were to build a city. And of course the only limit is my imagination, as they say. Alright, we're pretty much done here, and I will stop the music. Just a few more parts to go. Right, so with that, I will leave things there for now. Just remove some of this dust for now. Cool. Once again, thank you very much for joining me for this live stream. This is the first time I've done 2 live streams in a day. And I really appreciate you guys taking time out to have a chat. I don't know when the next one is going to be. Perhaps tomorrow. Maybe one later this week. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to see what happens. This week is going to be rather busy otherwise. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me once again. And thank you guys for playing along. And I will see you soon. Once again, this is Drew, also known as SilentMode. You can always check the description of the live stream to find out how you can support the channel. But you being here is enough, really. So until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you soon.